Alright guys, it's Alvie. I'm back live with Tyler. We have moved into a different location. I am out of breath and I am hot. I'm going to give y'all a few seconds to catch back on. Make sure we have a good signal. So if the volume and everything's good, y'all let me know. Looks like he's pulled it up on his phone. It's good. When I flip the camera back around to Tyler, I'm going to kind of recap the last couple of things I heard him say, let him pick up from there, and then I'm going to ask him some questions about that. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. All right, welcome back. Thank you. I'm glad I could provide you with your exercise today, sir. Okay, so right before we left, I'd ask you why bring it to East End, and
I can go over that again.
Please do, because I didn't want to misquote you on that.
Also,
okay.
If I've been cutting out or anything.
Yes, and you know that's one of the things that the town wants to know.
Yeah.
Why bring it to East End?
Why bring it to East End? Ignorance is everywhere. I'm not.
Can I save you for 1 second? Because a lot of, please, do you ignorance as in the true definition of ignorance, which is lack of knowledge, correct? Yes. I do want to say that because I didn't want anyone to mislead your message. So when you use the word ignorant, you're using the true definition, which means lack of knowledge. Not that they're dumb, not that they're backwards. That it's lack of knowledge when you use the word ignorance.
Absolutely. Now, I'm not saying that it's a racist town. I'm not saying that everyone there is racist or that everyone there is ignorant. But because even I've had experience with my own ignorances. Like, why is it when I go to downtown Pine Bluff, I lock my car? It's like, I never lock my car. There's nothing in there to steal. I have my keys on me, but I don't lock it. But why is it that I always lock it when I'm in a predominantly black neighborhood? Why is it that some women hold their purses closer when they see a black man approaching? It's not that they're racist, it's just they have this image in their mind of what this is. And they don't even see it some of the times. Even I don't see it some of the times when I do it. So what we're doing is we want to start these dialogues with people who may not understand that they're having their own ignorance in their hearts, or that they have done things in the past that may have come off as racism. Because when people come out to these rallies, they can ask these questions like, why is this important? Why is this being done here? It's because ignorance is everywhere, and we want to show that even in these places where people may think that you are ignorant, you can come out, and we can all come together and have these conversations and come together for betterness in the future.
Yeah. And I wish we could have went right after you said it that way. It wouldn't be misquoting you or you said something to the similar like, look to how the people was reacting.
Yes.
When and that's what I want to address. Look at how the people they're acting just to have a protest movement. So I need to inform you of something, and maybe because I truly believe our town is being painted unfairly. And I know you can go into any town that these rallies have, and they have someone like me telling you that our town's being unright. Because let me tell you. Like I told Grant from the beginning, our town would have welcomed you guys with open arms. But right now, they don't even want like us singing church in the middle of town right now, because anything to do with a protest has been showing riots afterwards. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily your cause like we're getting painted out to be. Now, without a doubt, when you wear Black Lives Matter on your shirt, and you are distinguished today, like my cameraman over here, Jared, he said that you showed some differences today. When we're watching the news, and that's where they're getting their info.
Absolutely.
How do they determine that? I mean, let me ask you a question. How did it make you feel when you got treated that way because you're siblings?
I'm going to tell you right now, that sucks. It sucks, and I understand exactly.
But, okay, because someone come and made you uncomfortable. Okay. My neighborhood, they really do want to get educated. They don't fully understand. I mean, and it's confused now, a protest and a movement. So before we continue, I want you to understand that the resistance from our town has nothing to do with the content of your rally. It was the fact that right now, our town has been safe from COVID. We kind of stick to ourselves in East End. We do our little events. Even when we host rallies, we'll go outside of our town to do it. So I will tell you, it's not the content of your rally that's raising the fear. It's
the connotations of it.
what comes after y'all go home is what I told Grant. Because here's what I see. Here's what I see. So this is what people that only watch TV see. Y'all go out, y'all do y'all's peaceful events. I have, in fact, watched y'all do some peaceful events, just to let you guys know. But y'all leave. The news is still there. They don't distinguish between the peaceful people and the other people coming.
I get that.
Okay? So put yourself in our town now. Okay? So now we're being painted in a way, and I understand, like I said, every town could say that. If you start reading all these comments I'm reading about how they're going to come into our town and how they're going to educate these rednecks and these are people that claim to be from y'all's side. How's that really educating them? And I guess what kind of education are you looking to get? And once again, by the way, guys, he's standing there. He told me from the beginning, he is a speaker of the rally. He is separate from Grant, but he's participating in Grant's rally. I mean, did y'all even look into the statistics of our town to see how we've changed? Do you know how many minority-owned businesses we have in this town? Y'all about to go set up a protest? Do you know that?
I personally do not know the information on it. I am a speaker.
Correct. So when you decide to speak, I have to ask that question, man, because that's a real question. When you decide to speak at an event like this, and what you said about our town, and I understand you read some comments, you can draw conclusions. You get what I'm saying? Just like they have about the movement over there. Do you not look into statistics like that, or do you not think that? And I'm not saying this to be smart aleck, because like one of my friends told me that demographics don't really matter and stuff like that. It doesn't really matter. But you personally, when you go in to do this kind of protest, and like what you said about East End, did you look? Have you paid any attention to what really goes on in our town besides what you're seeing on Facebook?
Our people call me.
Yeah.
I will say that this isn't a protest to make East End more black. This isn't a protest to make sure that blacks are represented in East End. This is a protest against racism itself. Now, racism and ignorance is everywhere. It doesn't matter what kind of town it is. I mean, I could do it in Little Rock. Racism is in Little Rock. I can do it in Pine Bluff. Pine Bluff can have some racist people.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop you right there. When's the last time you did a rally in Pine Bluff?
Pine Bluff, the reason we don't do Pine Bluff rallies is because it's predominantly black.
Okay, so what does that have to do with anything? You said that I did.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to do with anything because they don't have a race problem there.
Bull crap. I'm calling bull. You shouldn't have said that, because I told you beforehand we're going to talk on black crime. You cannot look me in the face and say there's not a racism problem in Pine Bluff. By the way, this white boy will walk down the middle of Pine Bluff in the middle of the night any time and not be afraid. Will you do the same? Be honest. It's okay, because we can admit.
No, absolutely not. You know why? Because I have my own ignorances.
Okay, and that's, I wanted you to admit some of that. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. Because if you're willing to admit that you got some ignorance and some racism built into you, it might be easier for other people. So I don't want you to feel like I was attacking you. No, but it's true. I mean, your butt belongs in Pine Bluff, dude. People got killed down there. Did y'all know about that?
I will say, yes, I did. And this is going to cause a lot of tension with a lot of people. I personally do not believe black on black crime is a thing. Just like I do not believe white on white crime is a thing. Black people do not kill other black people because they are black. White people don't kill other white people because they are white. Black on black crime is a coined phrase to kind of discourage people from understanding the bigger issue within. Black on black crime happens because, I'll give you an example. There's a place in Benton called The Hill. Everyone calls it The Hill.
Okay.
People in town have a different name. It's the N-word Hill. People don't think about, like, why all this black on black crime happens. It's because they're in their own communities. But they don't think about why they're in their own communities. It's because I'm not saying people here, but people's grandparents and people's ancestors pushed these people into these own communities. And that's where they stayed.
Can I challenge this? And like someone said, I had some white privilege because they really wouldn't listen to what I was saying. Because in fact, just to let you know, Grant never asked, I grew up on the other side of the tracks. Me and my family was the only two white streets in College Station and Higgins Switch. You understand? They bust white kids to my school. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, now that's important because I've been painted as a racist by people that are hosting this event. And I say that because I lost my train of thought. I really did. I say that because it is legit. There is black on black crime, and there is black people that kill black people just for being black people, man. I mean, I didn't ask you how old you are. I've been on the earth longer than you, I promise you, and even though you're well traveled, I got lots of experience. In fact, they do that, and I think, this is my personal opinion, when we separate and don't acknowledge those other arguments, it does your argument a disservice. Yes, people use that to try to shut down what you're trying to say. The best way is to acknowledge it, and it exists. Some of my black friends on here, my friends of color, will tell you, absolutely, black on black crime is a problem. But see, I wouldn't argue the way you did. Why not separate them? You get what I'm saying? So, so when y'all say Black Lives Matter, you're coming to East End, because we can cover a lot of things with it, right? So what is y'all's primary purpose for our town? Do you get? That's kind of what I'm saying. Okay.
So let me go back on black crime for a second. Black Lives Matter. I'm going to put this out there right now. Does nothing to do. It's a different social issue. Black Lives Matter is for protesting racism and police brutality. Racism and police brutality. Those are the two things that Black Lives Matter is focused on. For issues, the social issues of crime, black on black crime, or white on white crime, there's a different movement called Stop the Violence that addresses those issues. That's where people kind of like get confused and kind of like draw the line. Black Lives Matter is just racism and police brutality.
So is that what you're bringing? Is that what you're bringing recognition to our town? So let me pause you right there. As a member of that town, we don't have a police department. Okay, we're sponsored by Saline County Sheriff's Office. In fact, it takes them a long time to get out to our house. And the town y'all's coming to, actually, there's two different school districts. Now, the one Grant went to is Sheridan. Now, that's way away from us in East End, but we're part of their school district. Obviously, our communities, even though we intermingled, the distance is so distant. But they're not our neighbors. Like, our kids are actually going to school in East End with other East End people. They're not until they get in high school. Then they get bused to Sheridan. So if we don't have a police department, so we don't see in our town, by the way, you want me to go to Saline County with you on that police department thing? I'll be on a courthouse with you. You get what I'm saying? We don't have that problem in East End. I would be lying to say any town didn't have racism in it, but as our demographics has changed, as acceptance has changed, and Tyler, I know we didn't have much time to talk, you know, I've lived over in that area all my life, and the reason those communities, you thought, because I heard why you think it's all white, but here's how it goes. I'm going to explain to you how it goes. So, growing up was poor. Told you where I come from, right? Okay. East End was nothing. It was just trees and cheap property, swamp. Okay. So, anytime we got a little money to get out of from where we was renting, we went over there and was buying property. Now, when I say we, I don't mean me. You get what I'm saying? And so, all of these small towns were owned by 3 or 4 families. Well, over years, they get broke down. No one has stopped black people from moving in. Like Hensley, which sits right there, it's only 34% white. Our new subdivisions that's come in the last 10 years have minorities all in them. I was in the Dollar General today. Now, by the way, this is not who I am because my mother raised me to be different. I never was raised to know color. But today, because of the awareness that y'all saying, I walked in Dollar General in the middle of East End and I looked for minorities. Because I remember a time you couldn't see one in East End. It was 7-3. 7 minorities to 3 Caucasians, and we was all treating each other the same. When I go to our churches around here, we all hug each other the same. I know small towns have a problem. I don't think our town has the problem y'all believe it does. And that's not me being ignorant. That's just me being real with you. Even some of the people you see commenting, they don't understand. They truly don't. They don't understand why you would say their train of thought is racist. Because they're not really, and I don't think Grant fully understood this.
I don't think they're racist.
Thank you. That's what, explain that.
Because people have a lot of, I identify, I guess I have to identify as liberal because of my mindset, but I'm actually not really liberal, not really conservative. Racism is different than ignorance. And rightfully so. Racist is, I hate this person because of their skin color. Ignorance is, I don't understand what I'm doing comes off as racist. Like it says, someone said, like, why don't they just go back to their Pine Bluff cities? Why don't they just go back to... It's just like, these things, these aren't racist, these are ignorance.
There are, no, if someone got on there, I'm going to tell you, if someone got on there and told you, why don't they go back to Pine Bluff? Sir, that is them being racist. But here's the thing. I watched my community, and I was very proud of them, because by the time you contacted me, this video had been shared multiple times, and people was going on and attacking people in my community, saying they're racist, like for asking questions, posting their picture up, and you know, Grant's sitting there going along with them, and you're going to this rally, and you definitely sound like you have more information. I mean, so here you sound like you're more for equality, and he told me it was love and equality, but yet I go on and I see him tagging people, which you and I agree. What you and I just said, what you just said, that's I agree with. There's a difference between a racist and having, I call him a racism tendency, because it's that's built in to us. But the reason our town is white is because because now as all the kids have grown up and we've all started selling the property, guess what happens? It diversified.
Yep.
Because we're no longer farmers and we're no longer in the woods.
Yeah.
So, some things for you to think about. You don't have to answer this, but I mean, I really want to ask you. I mean, so when you think about that, think about, you know, what movement you're going to. Not this one, but I'm just talking specifically the one in East End. Man, I want to almost caution you to be who you line yourself with. You get what I'm saying? Because you definitely had some good information, and you and I are agreeing a lot on some things. I got my other phone out because
I was making sure.
Yeah, I was like, we got to do time. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, he is running out of time here.
I'm still good for another. How far away is it?
About 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm still good until like 3:40. I've got you. Okay. I'm here.
All right. So, by the way, I see some of y'all's questions, but he already knew I was going to ask him some. Yeah. So, we are getting some questions, and I want to get the, the obviously. Explain someone the difference between why isn't it all lives matter versus Black Lives Matter, and if you have to put a color in front of it.
Okay, yes.
Why isn't that racism?
Thank you. All right. It's basically grammar at this point. It's not Black Lives Matter more, Black Lives mean more, only Black Lives Matter. Black Lives is just Black Lives, hey, they matter. Black Lives Matter. And the difference between the all lives thing is basically just started just to disparage this movement. Yes, all lives matter. Of course they matter. But there is a systematic issue within Black lives. I saw a great, I don't identify as Christian myself, but I saw a great biblical quote. There's 100 sheep. One sheep gets lost. Jesus goes out and gets that sheep and then comes back. And no one's going to say, what about these 99 sheep? That wasn't the one that was lost. That wasn't the one that being injured. That wasn't the one hurting. That's why it's Black Lives Matter and not all lives matter. And I understand all lives matter, because it's those kind of ignorances that we're all born with that we don't understand. We haven't educated. We haven't taught ourselves that, hey, there's something wrong within our country that we should all fix. And that is the difference between those two.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm going to group 2 or 3 questions together. Some we talked about. I know one. You looked at my face and I said whether you think it had something to do with it or not. It was. So got to know like 39.5% of African Americans in the state of Arkansas are on welfare. We've had killings in both in Pine Bluff and shootings from our local people outside of our town. Abortion numbers are high for African Americans. By the way, these are questions coming directly from the community. I'm grouping them all together for you. And the amount of... I missed that other question. Whoever asked that one question, throw it back up there. I'll ask him. But would you like to cover those that I talked about?
Like, what exactly is the question there? I mean, I will go with the abortion one.
Correct. In other words, so here. I'm sorry. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
If you say Black Lives Matter, okay. Now you have said 2 distinct, different ones. Police. Did you say police brutality?
Police brutality and racism.
And racism. Okay. So when you say Black Lives Matter to people that don't understand it, their initial thought is, why not abortions? Why not take it? What are you going to do for the abortions? What are you going to do with those kids that got killed? What are we doing for the people in Pine Bluff? How are we getting them off welfare? You get what I'm saying? They're saying if Black Lives Matter, what about those parts? How do you respond to that?
I will answer this. I don't want to... About abortion, I don't want to touch on that because that's such a completely...
That's fine. Guys, by the way, I told him that, if there any question that he did not feel comfortable answering...
Like, I will answer this one.
Okay.
All right.
Basically, what they're saying is, let me word it a different way to give you a way to answer. There's so many other things impacting African American communities. Why aren't you focusing on those?
Because racism is ingrained. These people are, you say black communities, and like I said before, you got to think about why these are black communities. What drove all these black people to live in this one community or this one town and everything else? There's a bunch of systematic racism that I can go through, I
don't mean to cut you off on systematic racism. By the way, all my viewers know for a fact I'll call them out on systematic racism. By the way, but you come to a poor community, bro. We lived with the black people. Do you understand?
Yeah,
While color definitely played a part in it way back then when you're referencing, the amount of money that your family had determined where you live.
Yeah.
That's how come we ended up on the other side of the tracks. In other words, where we could get blocked in by the train. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how do you explain people like my family in the middle of, I mean, when I say my family, I'm talking about 2 streets, only people in the town, was all related, or we eventually become related. How do you, if you're saying that was because of color, how do we get involved? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I will say that not everything has to do with color. Like, there is systematic racism, and then there's just like shitty luck. There's just bad luck. Now, when it comes to the people, like you said, like you lived on the other side of the track with the black community. Now, jobs, if you look into it, jobs has, even though they say it doesn't, has a lot to do sometimes with color. Like, they're willing to give a white man with the same qualifications of the job than a black man. Therefore, that black man cannot better himself, cannot get that job, cannot better his family, cannot move out of these neighborhoods, and is stuck in these communities.
I'm going to stop you right here, and I'm going to sound a little racist here for you. Now, why is a white man standing in the middle of our town telling me this, but yet what we're seeing on TV and anything does not mimic what you just said, nor the people, including Grant and other people that's been responding on his behalf, they have said nothing to the extent that you just said. Now, why is that? Why? How come? Because you're talking about education. I mean, it's truly about education. You don't educate your kids by going and calling them stupid, retarded, rednecks, racist, and dumb. How do you educate them? You teach them.
Yes.
You have been so far, out of the entire Black Lives Movement that I've spoke to for this event, more informed. So I have to wonder why you put yourself in that. And I'll still ask, why is a white kid standing in the middle of East End telling me that stuff instead of the guy on TV?
I will tell you why. It's because we all have a moral authority to help our our brothers and sisters in this country. When you see someone, I'll give you a quote I love. Jackie Robinson, the first African American to play baseball. He was asked by reporters, "What are you going to do if one of these pitchers throws at your head?" He says simply, "I'll duck." Now I want to ask you guys something. What happens when he keeps on throwing it? He keeps on throwing it, and Jackie's just sitting there ducking. That's what's happening in our country. There's people throwing these pitches at these people's heads. And when are you going to step in and say, "Hey, stop throwing the freaking ball"? Let's help that person up and stop throwing the ball. Let's get together and make this country better. Because everyone has said, if you don't love this country, why don't you leave?
I don't say that. And by the way, I want to caution you before you say that. Grant, some of his followers didn't understand. Like when I'm doing posts like this, like and my guys, any of my followers bring politics in or something, I will shut them down because I'll tell them there's no place in social issues for politics.
Absolutely.
It's either you're promoting a political agenda or you really believe what you believe.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I wanted to tell you that. So anyway, you don't have to cover all those little things because most of them will know. And if not, I'll address it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. And so you have to stand up. You have to, because I'm going to tell you guys right now, everyone watching, this will be in history books. This will be in history books. 10 years, 20 years from now, this will be in history books. And you will have to look at your kids, and the kids will be like, "Hey, what were you doing in 2020? And this is where you got to be like, I sat back and just allowed it to happen.
So is that what... sorry, I didn't mean... My apologies for cutting you off because I know, like... is that what you think our town does?
Do I think your town does?
I mean, because you said educate us. And you said... And I know when you say me, you're not talking to me or anybody specifically. So for you to say that, like, obviously you're taking a stance. Do you believe our town... do you believe our town doesn't actively approach stuff like that way? Well, I mean, I guess what I'm saying.
I don't want to lump in your town. I don't ever want to lump in a town.
But you understand the reason I'm asking the questions about the town is we've been portrayed a certain way. Now it has become about us. You're one of those people that are going to be up there educating us about it.
Yes.
So it definitely has to do with our town. And that day when you're up there speaking, they're not going to give a damn what you think about Texarkana. They won't know why. I mean, you know how many questions have come up here? Tell him just to answer, what has he got to do with East End?
What do I got to do with East End?
What? And the secondary question, let me run them two together for you. Come to town. You educate us. Say you gave us all the education you got. What do we do? Because all we see is you do going around.
That is an excellent question.
All we see you doing is going around doing rallies, educate. So you give us the education. What do we do with the education, and then how come you're not doing that right now?
I actually love this question. When we educate and we tell these people, and they get like, they're like, "Oh shit, you're right. I have been ignorant. I have been having racial tendencies." Now, if you are white, like I am, you get to go home. You get to go hang out, and you get to do all this. And sometimes it's not with your black friends. It's not around black people. Therefore, you get to hear just some of these, like, the other people that you hang out with, or someone you may have come across, or you see something happen, and you see racism. You can check people now. You can say, "Hey, that's not okay." You can say, now you've been educated, you know all this stuff, you can go out and into other places and be like, "Hey, I now know that's wrong, and I'm going to say something, I'm going to do something." Because a lot of people don't. Like, myself included, I've been around racist uncles, racist grandfathers, racist, just racist people, and now that I'm educated enough to go, "Oh, that was really racist what they said," I can now call people on it. I can say, "No, we're not doing that anymore. We're done with racism. We can now all be anti-racist." Because there's a difference between not being racist and being anti-racist. Because when you allow racism to happen, you're allowing it to spread.
What do you mean allow racism to happen? So I'll give you an example. You don't live in my town, do you? You don't, right?
No.
So you're in my McDonald's down Landmark. You hear someone call a black guy the N-word. What are you going to do? I'll tell you what I did. I'm asking you, you're in my town. You hear that because you just said we now have the ability to put somebody in check. What are you personally going to do, and can you give me a time you actually did it?
I will say, the first time I ever got in a fist fight, was because someone called me an N-word lover. That was my first fist fight. Is because I have a black brother and he called me an N-word lover.
But I'm saying, like, I understand, like, everybody in this town knows I'll throw down for my family. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about, we're talking about a stranger. You're in my town. Because what you just said, because remember, this is part of the education that you're about to educate us. You just said it will give us the ability to put racism in check. Okay, so I'm in my town. Well, I'm in my town, and one of these racists come out, and they said the N-word. True story, by the way. What would you do? I mean, for real. If you answer honestly, and you'll earn their respect, brother. They already know the answer.
Yeah, I think everyone knows the answer. No, like no.
But then how? And by the way, I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm trying to get a better understanding of that myself. Yeah. If you're here to educate me on how to put racism in check, I had no problem looking at the 3 old men in the McDonald's and go, "Well, bro, you ain't gonna talk that way in front of me, in front of my kids." Now, I can put racism in check, but you're coming to my town to educate me. What education can you give me? Because so far, and once again, by the way, you did know I was going to bring up stuff that was said about me on Facebook. I've been painted as a Trump-supporting, homophobic racist. Which, if anybody that spent about 10 minutes on my personal Facebook profile could see, it was just about the total opposite. But y'all are coming to my town to educate me. And you won't even do what I'll do. You get my... I didn't know that guy put in check, man. I didn't. I know most everybody in my town. I didn't know that guy. I didn't even know the black guy he called that word to. All I know is it was in our town. Because we take care of our town.
Absolutely.
So education is important. And I've spent years with social programs educating even in our town. I've took my lumps from the people that's watching these videos for numerous things. Contrary to what people on your side, and when I say your side, the event side, has painted me out to be. I've took my lumps for it. So when they hear you say, you're coming to town to educate, man, okay, I'm your audience. I mean, educate me, and I'll help you educate the world. How do you educate me when I can still educate you on something like that? Does that make sense?
I get it. I understand. And you seem very educated. You yourself, Alvie, you sound very educated. Now, I would say there may be people in your town that aren't. Maybe they don't understand the things that we're doing. Maybe they don't understand what they need to be educated on. And that's all it is. It's not for the people that are educated. It's not for the people that are not racist. It's not for the people who aren't ignorant. It's for the people who don't understand. And that's what this is. Like, it's not for people like you. It's not for people that aren't racist and not ignorant. It's for the people who are and just don't understand that they are yet. That's what it's for.
I know you didn't mean it to come out the way you did. Like, you're not saying they don't understand the racist, because that's basically calling, if they have any racial ideology, make them a racist. And that's not what you're saying, right? That they didn't know that's racist. Okay. That's what you said. I want to give you a chance to clarify that.
Yeah, they don't know they're being racist. They don't know they're being ignorant. That's who it's for. It's not for the people who aren't. It's for the people who don't realize that they are being ignorant.
Okay. So I'm all about the education. Here's where it might get a little... and by the way, thank you, because you have provided more answers. We have a concern in our town now, and it's a real one. And it should be a concern for you too. I've reached out to your organizer. He don't understand what the concern is. Since his event
is it the rioting or the looting or the...
No. That is what my town's concerned of. Okay, my town's concerned when y'all leave, everybody that's come in. Okay, but that's where your problem lies. Okay, your problem lies is that's how my town thinks, and we have every reason to believe that's going to occur, because within these thousands of comments I'm telling you, they're telling us it's going to occur. You get what I'm saying? You can, and then I'll ask my question. But go ahead, you can comment. Yeah.
New study just released yesterday. 93 of every peaceful protest has been peaceful. No riots, no violence, no destruction.
But I love that statistic. But I'm going to go with you guys. Sorry, guys. Look, y'all say my town's got a bunch of uneducated people that need educated. Now, the only education we got is what we see on TV, which you tell us as wrong. It doesn't matter what you sit there in statistics you tell me. I'm telling you what the town thinks.
Yes.
My town will protect its property.
Absolutely. They have every right to do that.
At all costs. Like, and it's going to be quite intimidating, not only for you guys, like, it's causing a ruckus in the town, and it's not because it's black. You get what I'm saying? It's because the fear of property destruction.
Yes.
If you go back and read the comments, your actual movement until the last 24 hours was getting any kind of flack. It was having a protest in town. There's only 6 to 7 parking spots at that park. There was comments that people was going to park at the businesses. Obviously, the businesses aren't going to let them park. I mean, it's on a Sunday. Then they say they're going to park in different neighborhoods and march into our town. Now, how do you think that's going to go? Y'all into educating us, and y'all going to bring people, none of you from our town, none of you. Now you're going to bring people from Little Rock and other places, and y'all going to have to march through the 2 surrounding towns to even get to East End. Now, how are they supposed to feel comfortable with that? Do you see the danger?
I will ask this.
Okay.
What other towns do you know have had violent protests?
Little
Rock didn't.
Little
Rock didn't.
I will tell you right now. Little Rock definitely had violent protests when the curfews and stuff was first set.
That was it wasn't at the protest. It wasn't a riot.
Once again, remember what I've said like 3 times. Like, I understand that y'all show up, y'all protest, y'all leave. The news stays there. So it's, even though you wasn't part of that riot, since that rioter there was with you, guess what? You grouped together. Are you going to take all those people with you before you leave? Are you personally going to escort everybody out of that rally, out of our town, before you walk out?
I will say this. We've never actually had a problem with everyone just leaving when the time was up. We have a set time. We've done 2 in Sheridan. Never, ever have we had a time where it's like, I'm just going to hang out here. Time was up. We packed our stuff. Everything's gone, and everyone left at the same time. We've never had an issue. We won't have an issue.
The question is always how can you guarantee that? I mean, because I can go, let me say that I'll go, okay, the town's racist, dude. You think y'all gonna show up? By the way, if y'all just checking in, this is me pretending. Y'all think y'all just gonna show up, bring all these black people here, and y'all gonna sing and dance and no one's gonna do anything about it? I mean, even by how we're being portrayed, it logically doesn't make any sense.
We have been in contact with the Saline County Police Department.
Hey, can I stop you right there? Because one of my friends in Texas, and I'll call him out, his name is Courtney. Now, I've asked you several questions about East End. Now, he keeps attacking my town. I'm going to ask one more time. Have you ever been discriminated against or shown any kind of hate from my town, minus any comments on Facebook?
Minus anyone on Facebook?
Correct.
No.
But because
no.
all right.
No, absolutely not.
Have you ever witnessed anyone in East End or Landmark be discriminated against?
No.
Okay. Has so far, besides the Facebook, those of us you met in person, have we intimidated you in any way?
No.
All right, Courtney, there you go. Quit talking about what you think East End wants to know. You have no desire to look and actually see what we're about. Now, if you're not going to participate, get off. That's what I'm telling you. I'm tired of people like you painting us, and you don't even want to watch. The guy is sitting there telling you it's not true about our town, and I'm done with it. And this is serious. Like, I'm a calm one. You understand? Like, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be right in the middle of it. I got to have a security guard with me. Like, you guys are worried about you guys? How do you think people feel about me giving y'all attention?
Probably not good. I understand. I get, because I will say this. Every time we've been given attention on Facebook, it's not the kind of attention anyone wants. It's really not. It's bad on both sides. I mean, I will agree with that. There's bad apples. There's bad apples. It's just about coming together. We have to come together with love. You can't. Hate doesn't fix hate. You can't fight hate with hate. Jim Jeffries, a great comedian, he said, if someone's being an asshole, don't be an asshole. Give it with love. Come with them with love. They may hate you. They may still be an asshole to you. They may still hate you. But everyone, if you come with them with love and they come with you with hate, everyone around you will see them as the asshole.
And man, Tyler, you're taking people's heat for me. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Do you understand? Because I'm gonna say here, look you in the face and like, I can tell you can tell I'm getting excited. Mm-hmm. None of this is directed towards you.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
But I wish I would have interviewed you first. Mm-hmm. Because all I can continue to say every time you say something is that's not what's been portrayed, and that's not how they're dealing with us on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I mean, we claim education, but I see them attacking 60, 70-year-olds. Well, if you said our town had been white, and it was, I mean, okay, how do you really get a 70-year-old to change their mind by blasting her picture about Facebook?
No.
Okay, so I'll separate you for a minute. Mm-hmm. You personally, you're going to come out to our town.
Yes.
You're going to educate.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you right now, I gave you more of an audience today than you'll probably ever get in your life. It'll go off and on. It don't matter. The last video has been viewed over 20,000 times. You get what I'm saying? And that's where the concern comes in. The concern isn't you. Mm-hmm. The concern isn't Grant. Yeah. The concern isn't even the 10 or 15, 20 people that you're playing. Mm-hmm. The concern is the people that are sending me threats from other states, telling me they're going to come in to our town because it has now been portrayed as this racist town. I mean, my friend, even though you just said everything you did, he just still said, no, that's because I don't understand institutional racism. No, you know the conversations we had, right?
We've had this.
You had the, you know.
I would tell everyone watching, you cannot beat hate with hate. If they're being hateful to you, don't comment. Don't comment on it. Because guess what? Everyone in East End will see that hateful comment and go, no, stop doing that. And if you come at them with love, everyone else will see them as the asshole. If you are the asshole, everyone's just going to see, we are already fighting this uphill battle with us. Everyone already thinks that when you come into their town, we're going to destroy and burn shit and everything else.
We don't think you're going to do that. No. I'm going to keep saying it. Every time that's said and every time Grant says that.
Well,
we don't think you do that. We're going to think those people that are following along with you is going to do it.
I will say this. From when I posted on the Stardust community page, that's all they wanted to know. Are you going to burn shit? Are you going to break? Well, we're already fighting this uphill battle that everyone thinks that people in this, with this movement is going to do this. We're fighting this uphill battle. So if you come at it with an asshole-like tendency, they're going to say, yep, that's Black Lives Matter for you. Just a bunch of assholes who, everyone's a racist, everyone wants to hurt us and everything else. Just come at it with love, and that's all you need to do.
We definitely need to do that in our... Look, did you say something about Saline County Sheriff's Office a while ago? Mm-hmm. Can you, because everybody's telling me, I guess I missed it. Repeat what you said about Saline County Sheriff.
We're getting in contact with Saline County Police Department to to get a police presence there, because, I mean, when I posted on the Stardust page, someone said I'm coming down with a gun from Louisiana, from Louisiana, and I'm like, oh, you are well within your rights to do that. Someone said like, oh, don't worry, I'll be there with my gun. That's okay. You can do that. It's completely fine. It's within your rights. It's under the Second Amendment.
So these people, one thing they do know, they know their Second Amendment better than any other amendment. Like, I mean, a lot of times they tell me to shut up my freedom of speech, but they can do that with their Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
So are you saying, and I'm asking for clarification, did you personally contact Saline County Sheriff's Office?
I personally did not.
Okay. Who contacted the Saline County Sheriff's Office, if you know?
I think it would be Grant or Dustin.
Grant or Dustin. Now, who's Dustin?
Dustin is another one who also spearheads the events, and he's the one in Sheridan. All that.
And sure. Have I met Dustin yet?
I don't know if you have or not. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I know you're friends with them on Facebook, but
I'm friends with a lot of people. So, hey, Courtney, I'll argue with you later, dude. So I know we're 3:34. Yeah. We gotta. I know he's got to get back to what he's got to get. Here's what I'm gonna tell you, man. I've given you a platform. I gave Grant one. Everybody that responded fit every stereotype that my town is afraid of. Because what you said, someone threatens you, I'm getting threats. They're threatening to come in our town and burn it down. Do you get what I'm saying? And even though that's not you, that's not Grant, that's not your 15 or 20 people, that's what's happening.
Can I comment on that?
Yes.
I will say this. Everyone from both sides is a lot tougher on Facebook. I will tell you this. I had people tell me, I'm going to come up with a gun and shoot you in the head. You show up on that courthouse steps in Sheridan. I did. And you know what? Nothing happened. You stop acting like an asshole on Facebook saying you're going to do this, you're going to do this, when all we want to do is love. Both sides, like, all we want to do is love. He said that Easton wants to come in with love. We said we want to come in with love. And now both sides, small members, small little people within the Saline County, and then people with my side want to fight and butt heads and argue and say, I'm going to burn shit down, I'm going to shoot you in the head, doesn't help at all.
But is that on both sides? I mean, because I don't know if you watch my videos, but even afterwards, and when I get off here, I will address my town, and I will tell them what we need to do is we need to pray for peace and love and understanding, because that's who I am as a person. But, you know, I can't take the lead and tell you got your guys that too. I mean, that is your responsibility. So when I say I'm giving you something, like right now when you leave here and yourself and the people that represent you have the opportunity to break that stereotype that was proved correctly by Grant. You got what I'm saying? How you react today. That's when I said I gave you a platform. How you react today and how you respond and how you encourage people to respond is how people will look at you. Because I can tell you one thing about the town that people say stuff. One thing about us, we can look into a group of people and not like anybody except one person in the group, and we're able to separate the two. We're some of the best-hearted people that you have ever met in your life. What our neighborhoods and our communities do together, we go into the streets of Little Rock often. We go into communities that other communities don't. Most of us have no problem going into neighborhoods that you guys wouldn't go into because where we're from. So I'm encouraging you, man, to encourage your folks to stop the threats. Because what I'm about to tell you is not a threat. We will protect our town and our community at all costs.
Absolutely.
From any type of threat.
Absolutely.
This is not a joke to us. Our fear that the town has is legit. It is brought on by what we've seen on media. We got a lot of older people in our town. We got a lot of businesses where you guys will be protesting. So I just want everybody to listen to be clear. I will continue to say, I support your right to protest. I support your right to even have a Black Lives Matter. I wish it went in my town. That is your absolute right to do. It's bigger than what you guys realize. And unfortunately, y'all ain't going to figure that out until Sunday. And that's on both sides. I got my own, this doesn't involve you, but we're live and we're talking. I got my own suspicions about some things. So when you're out there on Sunday, like, make sure that is the voice that is being heard instead of the others. Because I'm going to tell you, like, at the end of the day, even my community members that will be out there side by side with you, when it comes to our town, we're not going to choose. You get what I'm saying? The choice is already made. Like, because there's some of my family's going to be right out there beside you. Some of them going to be out there telling you, get the hell out. You understand what I'm saying? I wish y'all changed the protest. That's kind of hypocritical for me to say, being a lover of the Constitution. I know you got to go. Sorry about all the headache. Is there anything you want to say to anyone in the community. By the way, Courtney, I will give you a plane ticket to come to our town and talk. How about that? Hit me up. Is there anything you want to say to our community?
Love each other.
Love each other.
Stop hating. Love each other. Doing all this on bickering on Facebook ain't solving a problem. Just love each other. Come out Sunday.
13th. What? When is it? Sunday?
Sunday the 13th, 2 p.m.
Sunday 13th, 2 p.m. You might not have the answer to this. There's 7 parking spots out there. Can you get with Grant or somebody?
Yeah,
so tell people where to park.
Yeah.
I will let you know right now. There will be no parking available in the town.
That's fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That'd be it.
All right. Hey, man. Thank you so much.
You.
Hey, one last question. I'm going to do this live right here for you.
Yep.
All right. Just so do you believe I treated you fair today?
Absolutely.
Do you think I made you too uncomfortable?
Yeah, some of the questions were tough, but I think we got through it.
Tough, right? do you think they were education questions?
Absolutely, they were.
Do you think I have a better understanding of what you're doing?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one, all right?
All right. Thanks, man. Hey, guys. There you go. That wraps up my interview with. Tyler. He was definitely way more informed than Grant. Whew. Boy. I'm out of breath. Jared's over making sure he gets in his car. I can say this now that he's leave because I agreed not to give his location. So when he called me, I don't know if Jared heard this or not. He called me and he goes, well, I don't want to meet in your town. I said, where you want to meet? And he said, Bryant. I about died because when I got here, I had to tell him that was the oddest request I'd ever heard. But because Bryant was always the racist town to me. So I was leaving East End to drive what I thought was the most racist town growing up. So I thought I'd share that with him. What I think we see here, actually, Courtney would love to hear from someone that supports Black Lives Matters. If you want to do like a Zoom meeting or something, they'll be happy. And they'll actually welcome your comments, by the way, because I know you'll answer intelligently. So it was a real offer, by the way, because I trust you. I don't think that God, he knows more. Once again, seemed like he's coming from a good place. I don't think they have a clue of who's following them. Yeah, Trey, that was more informed than the last one. We did get questions to y'all's answers to a lot of your questions. Remember, when you're interviewing people, just because they don't give the answer you want or the answer you think you need doesn't mean they didn't give you the answer. But I do want to say this. I am going to try to get a couple of more interviews. But it's time to pray. It's time as a community that we pray for our community. We've been doing a really good job of not responding to their hate. And it's not the 10 or 15 kids that's coming to our town, by the way, that's doing it. They're definitely making it worse. But that's the only way. We have an opportunity to prove Courtney wrong. We have an opportunity to show how we are as a town. I want everybody to show up at our businesses, not there spewing hate at them, just to go out there and show our community hand in hand, down our parking lots, down our streets. That's what we got to do. I definitely liked what he had to say more than Grant. Yeah. Truthfully, I'm out of words. Can't have a say. I'm hot. I'm thirsty. And I've already used Jared's time. Jared, thank you so much for the interview. All right, guys. That's what you get. Want to remember a couple of things. Go ahead and hit share or like on this video. Be nice when you respond, because now you're representing all of us. Make good choices, guys. Say a prayer for our town. That's what I got. Peace out. This thing ran out of card.